His lap of 1 minute 13.026, more than a tenth quicker.
Lewis Hamilton just went fastest at Monaco, and the paddock still does not fully understand how he did it. For months, every lap Hamilton drove in the SF26 carried the same question behind it. Was he still adapting, or had he already found what Ferrari needed him to find? Monaco answered that, not with a comfortable margin, not with a dominant display from the very first corner, with something more dangerous. A reveal. Hamilton was not the fastest driver at Monaco because the car suddenly became perfect. He was fastest because the car finally entered a world that matched what he had already quietly built inside it. And if that is true, if Hamilton has been learning Ferrari all along while the results were hidden by the wrong circuits, then the championship picture just shifted in a way Mercedes has not yet fully priced in. This is the kind of detail other channels skip past. If you want it every time Ferrari does something the field does not expect, subscribe to F1 today. That is exactly what this channel is built for. What Monaco strips away from every other car. The SF26 was never a weak car. It was a misread car. Ferrari built it with aggressive aerodynamic choices and a cornering balance that rewarded a very specific driving style: high rotation, precise corner entry, mechanical grip through slow sections. The problem was that none of those strengths mattered when the car arrived at circuits with long straights. Mercedes had the stronger power deployment. The SF26 lost time where drivers have nothing left to do. Hamilton could feel the car's potential through the corners, but the stopwatch still punished Ferrari when the road opened up. Then Monaco arrived. Active Aero, the system that helps cars reduce drag on straights, was banned for the weekend. The Rev 1 engine map reduced the importance of high-speed deployment. Suddenly, Mercedes' biggest advantages disappeared from the lap, and what was left was Ferrari's language. Slow corners, mechanical grip, rotation, the exact areas where the SF26 had been quietly superior for weeks. But here is what nobody is saying yet. Hamilton was not just benefiting from the circuit conditions. He was already ready for them. On just his third lap of FP1, on a track still cold and green,
Hamilton on the edge of rear grip, pings it over the curb, bounces through.
Hamilton was more than 1.5 seconds faster than the rest of the field. That is not a driver still translating a car in his head. That is a driver who already knows where the answers are. If you want to know what Hamilton's pace means for Ferrari's championship strategy at the circuits still to come, subscribe. I am covering that tomorrow. Both red cars, both at the front, one story each. But that was just the start. Because the Monaco story was never only about Hamilton. Ferrari topped both sessions on Friday. Charles Leclerc led FP1. Hamilton led FP2. Two SF26 cars, first and second, across an entire day of running. That means this is not a driver story alone. It is a car story. The SF26 was genuinely in the right window. Through Portier and Mirabeau, the two corners where Monaco separates cars most brutally, Hamilton and Leclerc had mechanical grip no rival could match. Hamilton's FP2 lap was built on commitment and precision, absorbing a rear-end slide through the swimming pool section and still setting the fastest time of the session. Race engineer Carlos Sainz came over the radio to suggest a more efficient line through turn 15. Even the fastest lap of the day had room left inside it. Leclerc's strongest moment came mid-session on medium tires, when despite two noticeable rear slides he still moved to the top of the timing screens. The lap was not clean, and it still led the session. Frédéric Vasseur, Ferrari team principal, put the weekend's challenge clearly. You always have to be one session ahead of your rivals. That is the real challenge. Ferrari ended Friday one session ahead of everyone. And this is where the story turns completely. The one problem Ferrari cannot afford to ignore. Charles Leclerc should be the pole position favorite. He knows this circuit better than any driver on the grid. Monaco is his home race, and single lap pace here has always been one of his strongest qualities. But since Canada, something has gone wrong. The brakes. In Montreal, Ferrari replaced braking materials before the race, trying to fix the issue. It was not enough. In Monaco, a circuit where corner entry confidence is the difference between pole and the barriers, the same problem reappeared. Leclerc was direct after FP2. Unfortunately, it's been 2 weekends now that I've had brake problems. At the moment, I'm really struggling in that area. I'm not particularly confident with the brakes. That's why in the last 2 races I've made a few more mistakes under braking. At Monaco, that matters more than anywhere else. You cannot fake confidence through a braking zone here. The walls are too close. The lap is too demanding. Leclerc left roughly 2.5 tenths on the table on Friday alone. His best lap versus what an ideal lap would have been. 2.5 tenths at Monaco is the difference between pole position and row 2. Ferrari is working on it overnight. But the fact that the fix from Canada did not hold is the warning. If Leclerc arrives at Q3 without full brake confidence, Monaco pole will go to whoever behind him is ready. The one driver Ferrari cannot ignore tomorrow, and that driver may already be waiting. Behind Ferrari's 1-2, the session did not go as the paddock expected. McLaren was supposed to be Ferrari's closest rival. Instead, Oscar Piastri, McLaren driver, finished 7th, more than a second behind Hamilton. Lando Norris, McLaren driver, stopped at the harbor chicane after losing electrical power, completing just 8 laps. McLaren struggled specifically in tire warm-up, unable to build heat through Monaco's opening sector. Performance director Rob Marshall, McLaren, admitted the car was only competitive in the 2nd and 3rd sectors. That is not a Monaco-ready package. Mercedes had a quiet day. Their own expectations were modest coming in. But Max Verstappen arrived with limited hopes and finished less than 2 tenths behind the leading Ferrari. He did not speak much after the session.
Guys, this fix his release. This doesn't work.
He rarely does when the gap is that small. At Monaco, Verstappen has repeatedly shown he knows how to convert a Friday hint into a Saturday result. 2 tenths on Friday does not stay 2 tenths by Sunday. Ferrari knows it. The SF26 is the fastest car on this circuit right now. Hamilton has found his language inside it. Leclerc has the pole in his hands if the brakes behave. But Monaco does not reward potential. It rewards whoever controls the pressure when it arrives. The real test starts tomorrow. If this gave you a new angle on what Ferrari's Monaco Friday actually means for the championship, you will want to be here tomorrow. I am covering what Hamilton's adaptation reveals about Ferrari's title strategy for the second half of the season, and whether Leclerc's brake problem is bigger than the team is admitting. Subscribe. See you there.